Hey guys, welcome to the Fan Voice. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Paul.
So this is our 5th episode.
Yep, number 5.
Number 5, and the
Yes.
main topic today is going to be, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
And the worlds that we want and that other people want. There was a good article on IGN about this, so we thought we'd pick it up and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, put in our input.
Yeah, about our main topic today. But we're going to start off with some news. So what's our first news of the day?
So we got a couple little interesting tidbits. It's like a lot of early release information, such as Steven Spielberg is working on the story for the Goonies 2, apparently.
So here's what I have to say about this. Ghostbusters, Goonies, all of these things, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all these things coming out. I just want them to stop. I don't care if the Goonies 2 comes out and it's good. I really don't. Because it can never live up to hype.
Absolutely.
That's my problem with movies like
That's
this.
a really good point, but I'm afraid I don't have much faith in this movie. Just for that reason, you know. I mean, I feel like this falls in line with so many other classic movies that got sequels way later to just get a little more money out of the equation, you know? Like, there's the Sandlot sequels, and then, what is it? A Christmas Story? They had a sequel of that. Did you know that?
Yeah, and it's terrible. Have you seen it?
No, I just saw the cover, and I'm like, I'm never touching that ever.
And 6 Home Alones at this point.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. And, I don't know. I guess there's a little more faith in it with Steven Spielberg working on the story, but at the same time, still... I feel like it's going to fall in that line.
Yeah, I feel like movies like Ghostbusters and Goonies and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that, these phenomenon, were good because they were different and somebody took a chance.
Absolutely.
But now you're going to have to recreate it.
Yeah.
And I think that's impossible.
No.
I think it's literally impossible.
They were one-of-a-kind things, and that's what made them so popular, but producers are like, oh, they want to see more of that, blah, blah, blah. And It's never the same.
It's never the same.
What the heck do you think they'll do with the story? Do you think they'll try and keep the same characters with new actors, or just make them new kids?
I don't know. You know, the thing that bothers me about this is I think they're going to have to go back and do look, they're older and it's their kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
can totally see that.
I don't want that. I want them to just be it's the same kind of story but a totally new group of kids.
Yeah.
You can have cameos. Maybe it's in the same town.
Right.
You know,
absolutely.
Or something. But
I wouldn't mind hearing that one theme song again that they have.
Yeah.
Good enough for you. I love that song. But another interesting movie that's supposedly in the works is the Goosebumps movie.
So I don't even know what to say. This isn't even a redo or a remake or anything. It's just the fucking Goosebumps movie. What do you say about this? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't have much faith in it being a critically good movie, of course, but
no, not at all.
I think I'm gonna love it, honestly.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be a mix of nostalgia and hilarity.
It's probably gonna be really funny, and it might not be on purpose.
Definitely.
That's what I'm gonna say.
If they keep all those brilliant kid actors that they had before.
Yeah, dude, the Goosebumps show was some good acting on that show.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So bad. I don't know. For this one, I'm I get it. Because you've never made a movie before. And it's a pretty big property. But once again, I'm just come up with an original idea. It's going to be better.
Is it still a big property? Does R.L. Stein make those anymore?
That's a very good point. No, he
doesn't.
It
just sounds kind of random to me to bring this out of nowhere.
That's actually a really good point. I think this is just catching in on nostalgia again.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely onto something there.
Yeah, honestly, I think the only link it might have to the present is WB Kids or Cartoon Network or something brought it back for a while to this newer generation.
I mean, the thing about this is I think you're right. I think this is kind of a nostalgia thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we fall for that. Our generation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
all the time.
Yeah, it's like
a new Mario game. Yeah, and it's the exact same Mario we've been playing for 20 years, with like one or two differences.
Yeah,
and it's fun.
I would
still,
say that
but
more towards the newer one because they're definitely starting to be more like clean cut original style kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no more Paper Mario anymore. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think this is more of a nostalgic thing. I don't know. I mean, I'll go see it. It's Goosebumps.
We all will.
Yeah,
they'll catch all the '90s kids.
It's
Absolutely,
true.
whether it's good or not,
Yeah.
people will see it. Okay, do you want to mention our next topic?
Oh yeah. So Adam West is coming to Phoenix Comicon along with Burt Ward and Sally
Julie
Newmar. Oh, Julie Newmar, who was Catwoman in the original series.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought someone else also played Catwoman in the original series. I can't remember. I think it was somebody else for the movie. Anyway.
Could be. Yeah.
So this is kind of cool, actually.
Oh yeah.
I think this is the first time in a while that Adam West is coming to a Comic-Con.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's been to like besides San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
Because I think he's been to that one a few times,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't make a lot of convention appearances, I don't think.
I think it's just another flag that like Phoenix Comic-Con is getting more and more popular as the years go by. I mean, you look at last year and the attendance was like off the charts.
Yeah,
and like enormous. Just going there, it was like going to Disneyland.
Yeah, and I think Phoenix Comic-Con got really like they got big in my opinion when they had like almost all of the cast of Star Trek Next Generation there.
Oh yeah.
It was like
Definitely.
For their anniversary, it was like, okay, this is big. This is now getting really, really big.
Right.
So I think this is really awesome. And this is also not like their big guest or like their big thing this year.
Not their number one guest.
I guess not, because the program director said, "Oh no, we've got more stuff coming."
Oh my gosh.
And I guess there's a couple anniversaries of really big properties and stuff. So I'm like, damn, I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing big names for Marvel movies.
Oh yeah.
Come.
Definitely.
Like, because I could totally see, like, the guy who plays Loki, Tom Hiddleston, coming. Because he's a huge convention person.
People would be going nuts.
Yeah.
Especially the ladies. There's some guys, too, I guess.
Well, yeah. Oh, of course.
Sure. Absolutely.
We're not.
No. Okay, anyway. Next topic. The Face Off finale was this week, and the guy I was rooting for won, basically.
Yay!
Rashad took victory in the championship, and I actually made an article about this, so if you guys want to check that out and give your opinions, definitely, I encourage it. But basically, what I think the formula to victory in this show is efficiency in combination with consistency.
Yeah.
And from early on, Rashad showed characteristics of the champions of the past, where basically he always had super strong, detailed work, always completed, and like with hardly ever a bead of sweat. Like, as opposed to other people who are constantly rushing to the last minute kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, I thought this guy took the crown way, way early.
Yeah, really.
You know? Mm-hmm.
Like Absolutely. You had picked him a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right.
It's true. It's true. Awesome. You gotta believe me. Yeah, follow me next season and I'll tell you who will win. I'm psychic like that, you know?
Yeah.
But shout out to Christy Harlan, who also follows the show with me and gave her input on it and said the other contestant, Tyler, she thought he had a better makeup than Rashad.
For the finale.
Yeah. And I will commend that. The finale makeups were really, really hard to make a decision. All of them were really, really good. Yeah. And I would say the only thing that held Rashad back was like his face makeups were really, really awesome and stuff. And his uses of the lights, which was part of the challenge. They were like light alien things, which had to dance in a crazy like rave DJ room. It was so awesome. But anyway, like the makeups were really good, but most of his altogether ensemble were covered with really weird plain rags kind of thing. So Definitely, if you were to judge just by the finale, it was a tough call. But one thing the judges did publicly that I feel like they haven't done as much in the past is like really acknowledge their complete progression throughout the entire show, kind of thing.
That's kind of interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're really making some smart moves this season on the
Yeah,
show. Even though
it seems like in a finale with a final 3, you'd want to do that.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, they're really starting to shape well. Like I thought the 2-part pre-finale thing was also a really good idea about the vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And one more thing that happened this week was the Adventure Time season premiere, which I'm not going to get too in detail for it because I know a lot of people who would be annoyed if I spoiled this for them. So, but just in general, there was a huge cliffhanger that happened at the end of last season, and basically that particular subject was addressed this first episode, but it was not the most interesting thing about about this episode. Not saying too much. Basically, what happened is, basically, vaguely what made this interesting is it touched on a subject. How the heck do I do this
without spoiling it?
Without spoiling it.
I don't think it's possible.
No. History seems to be kind of repeating itself. I'll just say that.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
But I'll give a shout out to Chris Allen, who talked with me about the show and just touched upon a few things he's looking forward to in the show in the future. Is Finn's origins and stuff like that, and the origin of Simon and Marceline, which is a huge, probably one of the most interesting aspects of the show. And also Fiona and Cake, which is their alter egos.
Right,
which
yes.
Everyone's gender's reversed basically in the show, which is it's a kind of a fun look at
that happens like every season or something, right?
No, there's only been 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Throughout the entire show so far.
Okay.
So that'd be interesting to see. But it's good to touch upon these subjects because the way I see Adventure Time is that it started with this huge amount of randomness and stuff, but it's getting deeper and stronger as the seasons go by, which I think this late in the game is really unique.
Yeah.
And so it's something to say for any sort of series,
That's very true.
Yeah.
I have not watched it, I will fully admit, but I've seen a few episodes here and there. I haven't sat down and watched it.
I'll give you the good meaty episodes.
Yeah. All right, good. Yes.
The ones that touches the heart.
Yeah.
So, I think that's... Oh, also, one more shout out to Chris Allen, because he shared our last podcast, which was absolutely awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
We love you. Thank you. Sincerely.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No, you're awesome. Seriously.
So now we're going on to our big topic, which one more shout out to Christy Harlan. She was the one who found the IGN topic for this for me. So we've been looking at it, and that's worlds we want in the next Kingdom Hearts 3.
So this is an article on IGN. It's a pretty good article. They do a good job of some witty, funny writing usually on this site. So it's oddly though, it's a big list of Disney properties that are newly acquired. And I'm not just talking about like Disney movies, like animated movies. I'm talking about everything. And I can understand why they did it. Because it's really cool to think about all these different things.
Yeah, because we've got like 3 or 4 different universes opened up to us really recently, kind of thing.
So I don't know. I mean, let's get into it. Let's get into talking about it.
Absolutely.
So the first one is obviously going to be Star Wars, and I think it's at the top of their list for a reason. It's just recently happened. Obviously, Disney acquires LucasArts and Lucasfilms. And so, not LucasArts. LucasArts is the gaming company. Never mind. They acquire Lucasfilms and all its subsidiaries and everything.
Right.
So, at this point, it pretty much has to be, right?
Yeah.
But here's my problem. That only happened recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brand new property to Disney. Do they want to give it to Nomura this early?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a really tough call, and I feel like a lot of these franchises are gonna fall in that same line because what is it? I feel like the balance and ownership of these new franchises are really fragile, and the process to get those into Kingdom Hearts is fragile in itself as well.
I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean got into Kingdom Hearts too, but if I remember correctly, and I'm just paraphrasing from an article I read a while ago, it was very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Because, and not just on Disney's part, Disney wanted it to be in there. It's the fact that it wasn't really popular in Japan. So for a while, they were like, okay, we don't want to do it. But then Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and it blew up over here, and kind of didn't do that well in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it did. It did well in Japan, but the Western market is so much bigger now.
That's true.
So I don't think they're going to have that same problem again. I think this time it's on Disney.
Yeah,
Did they want to be like, yes, Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts, as many video games as humanly possible? And they're not doing that because they just shut down LucasArts, which was the video gaming company, and they're giving out all of these Star Wars properties to other companies to make stuff. So I'm like, maybe they will. Maybe it'll be in the next Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, with such a huge franchise that Kingdom Hearts is now, and everyone's basically like hanging on every minute detail of this upcoming
is a chugging.
Oh my
this
gosh.
fucking franchise.
And I am on first class on this.
It is not stopping. Because I thought it would. But everybody's like, no, I've been waiting for this game way too long. I'm in. I'm invested.
We've come too far.
We've come too far to give up on it. And I feel like it's just going to sell well regardless. I think having Star Wars would help a lot. And how would you do it? I mean, it would be the Kingdom Hearts 2, or the Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts always felt a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Because the animation...
It's definitely off.
Yeah, it feels off because it doesn't look... It's not
cartoon. They're trying to put realistic looking people with Donald and Goofy in
and Sora.
Yeah. It's
Who is literally just an anime character.
Right, absolutely. 3D. It's like...
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hard enough with, like, the Square Enix characters looking natural next to Disney characters, but this is just taking it, like, one step above, you know?
Yeah.
But along with this, they also put in, like, the Tron movie style, the new movie that came out in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah,
so it's like, whether or not they look right, they don't care. They're going to use it if they want to or they're able to.
That's a really good point. And that's another really good point, is that when Disney was promoting Tron, they put it in the game.
Yeah.
So I think Disney and Square Enix have a really good relationship right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good enough to warrant this huge franchise? That's what remains to be seen. But here's what I hope. I hope if they're going to do these more realistic worlds, and we'll get to some other ones that could potentially come up, I hope they do Star Wars over other ones. Because I feel like it's a good fit with everything else. Art style wise, it doesn't mesh.
You know, one thing they could do if they really wanted to have a smoother transition of art style.
Yeah.
They could use the Clone Wars series style of characters.
And see, that's what I was thinking, is if they do that, that would be very cool. Because they're already 3D, well, like the Clone Wars TV series is already 3D.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not like the art style is bad, in my opinion. It's just, it's very strange, I think.
Yeah,
because it's almost like they were trying to do the 2D micro series one, but they did it in 3D, and it's really strange.
No.
But it's not a bad art style.
No.
You know, it's really not, and it's not badly animated either. So I agree. If they went that route, that might be kind of interesting.
I wouldn't be too broken up about it, but I feel like there would be a huge amount of Star Wars audiences who would be up in arms raging. Because there of course, there are definitely a ton of Star Wars fans who have been angered by the Clone Wars series.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand the anger.
Just for, like, uprooting so much
Yeah.
origin and everything.
Yeah, and I think if they were to do this, it would be smart of them not to go that route. It would be smarter of them to make a tie-in to the new movies.
Ooh.
But that's going to have to be real quick turnaround.
Yeah,
Unless
absolutely.
they start now. You know, like right now.
Uh-huh.
And they actually get with J.J. Abrams. But, I mean, when's the new movie coming out? 2015?
Something like that. And that's my prediction of when Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out.
Yeah, so I don't even know. You
that
know?
If they do Star Wars, I really doubt it would tie into Episode 7.
Yeah.
It's just too many fine lines to cross all at once, you know?
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Star Wars is up in the air. Personally, I think it might be a little too short of a time frame.
Where would you want to be in the Star Wars universe?
Okay, see, that's what I don't know. Like, I feel like you really don't want to bring up the prequels.
No.
I feel like you don't want to. And I feel like you wouldn't want to really bring up... And this is why, when you said the TV show, I'm glad you said it, because that was something I wanted to bring up, too.
Uh-huh.
Feel like that's your best bet, is to go with the TV show.
Right.
You really don't want to bring up the movies.
You don't think so?
No, I think you want to keep it in the extended universe.
That could definitely give them a ton of more flexibility for future games. If they start setting this and keep it as a world, you just float around in Clone Wars for a while. You could have all sorts of adventures and stuff.
And that's like the whole point of the TV series is that there's this whole gap, and it's showing what actually happens during the Clone Wars. So for me, I think that's your best bet. I don't like it, though. I would like it more if it was about the movies. And I would like it especially if it was... I don't want them to do sequel or prequel. I want them to do between. Either just, like, some new characters, but in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
And I feel like you'd have a lot more freedom to do something more interesting with that.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't mind riding along in the storyline of, like, episode 4 through 6 kind of thing.
I would love that. I really would.
You could fly around the Death Star in your gummy ship.
Oh
Help
my
out
God.
Luke Skywalker.
Blow up the Death Star in your
with the gummy ship.
Shit, Paul, you just blew my mind. I want that so badly. Can you imagine how that's
Death
like?
Star, yeah.
That would be amazing.
It's
would
like
be you in a squadron of X-wings go and blow up the Death Star. That'd be fucking awesome. Oh my God.
And it'd give a great chance to, like, improve the gummy ship even further.
Yeah.
Even though they did a pretty good job in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I liked Kingdom Hearts 2's gummy ship a lot.
I would say the mobility was definitely improved upon and made it a lot more exciting. But there's still a lack of urgency, I felt. For the most part, it was kind of just run through it. It'd be really hard to get killed.
It's very much an on-rails, arcadey kind of experience.
Yeah.
But I liked the customization still and everything.
Definitely.
And I actually really liked the challenges. Mm-hmm. They kind of kept you coming back and playing it. I didn't think that a lot of them were well executed, but I thought it was fun to do.
I wasn't huge on the gummy ship challenges, but... Oh my gosh. An X-Wing gummy ship blueprint.
Fucking awesome.
Right?
I want that. I want that. And really, all you have to do is you have to make some Stormtrooper Heartless.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Like
that would be incredible.
Star Wars themed Heartless would be like Stormtroopers and like
random aliens, some stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. It would be really cool.
That would be pretty awesome.
Anyway, so I think it'd be fun to see Star Wars.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we're going to see it.
It's just a matter of ability. Like, imagination-wise, there's so much potential.
And it's a short time frame.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Hopefully we'll see it. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, what are some of the other worlds here?
Next on our list is the other big franchise that just hopped on.
Yeah. So, Marvel. Between after KH2, Disney bought the movie rights to Marvel, which means that they also technically have the rights to video game, because I'm pretty sure it's all visual media. But if they don't,
except Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. But if they don't, it's still a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So if Marvel itself wanted to be involved, it's easy.
Yeah.
Because I think Disney and Square Enix could make that happen.
Right.
So the question is, have they already been working on that and nobody knows? And my answer is, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been working on that in the background.
Think so?
Like,
what makes this, you think, so much easier to imagine than Star Wars?
So the reason that I think this happens is time frame and the fact that the movies are in full swing right now. Avengers already come out, Avengers 2 is coming out, and they have more planned.
Right.
And they're going to keep churning them out.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping Sora, this sounds so weird, but dropping Sora in the middle of New York on Stark Tower, like in the middle of like the third Avengers movie, it's like the perfect tie-in. Like, you just drop him, and suddenly you have the Avengers, and it's like, go, Avengers World.
Honestly, I think my favorite part of this idea would be freaking Robert Downey Jr. just making fun of Sora the whole time, and Donald and Goofy.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much.
Like, I couldn't imagine what he'd say, because it'd be just too incredible for anyone else to come up with.
So, I mean, that's why I think, that's why I'd be more excited for Marvel, honestly, because I think it'd just be fun to see.
Yeah.
And with Star Wars, there's a lot of like, do you want to do the movies? Do you not want to do the movies? Because the thing is, Star Wars doesn't do video games very often. But Marvel does.
Right.
Marvel's worked with Capcom to do Marvel vs. Capcom.
It's true.
And they've pushed new characters that are having movies come out to promote those characters.
Yeah.
And things like that. So
they're much higher set on integration and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to like, for Marvel to go through Disney to Square Enix is easy, and I think it flies more on Marvel. It lies more on Marvel to be like, okay, well, let's figure it out.
Yeah,
and I think they would.
Yeah,
I really do think they would. And like you said, I think it'd just be funny to see that. I really, really do.
Because once again, we get a situation where these characters don't really match visually at all.
Yeah, at all.
But you know what? I think I'd honestly, personally, would really like to see their individual universes first. Yeah. Before an Avengers world.
So
just because it would give them so much more potential for acceleration later, kind of thing, and you'd get to digest more little by little, kind of thing, instead of having all of this stuff just thrown at you at once in one world. It's a lot to take in for one world, kind of thing.
It definitely is. Yeah. And I mean, that's why I think it's more plausible that the Avengers world, like the movie universe, would be in Kingdom Hearts. What I want is for somebody to do a comic book stylized world.
Yeah.
In Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh, that'd be really cool.
And I want them to come through and Donald and Goofy and Sora to be comic book. To look comic book.
Like, heavy outlined and dramatized and stuff like that?
Totally.
I think that would be an awesome idea.
And all the cutscenes are in comic book style.
Oh,
where they're going through frames. That's what I want.
That would be so amazing.
That would be awesome.
But it would I feel like it would throw out of the Kingdom Hearts universe a lot. Because... Yeah. And just from past experience, I feel like it's something that they wouldn't do, just because, like, I feel like they had that opportunity with Steamboat Willie. From, like, old cartoon style and stuff. And they had the style, but that was about it. It was still just all 3D animation going through the world kind of thing.
But, I mean, I would just really love to see, I mean, even if it's 3D
I think it would be great.
Yeah, even if it's 3D styled,
like,
but it looks
kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you make it kind of that style, it looks a little bit more like a comic book.
It would be super legit.
It'd be awesome. You could even have Sora, Donald, and Goofy come through as superheroes.
Oh my gosh.
Into the world.
That would be awesome.
And then there's just Marvel characters running.
Okay.
Right?
Donald Duck in a Darkwing Duck outfit.
There you go. We already have it.
Right?
We already have it planned. Somebody get Nomura on the phone. Let's go.
we have all the plans.
That would be amazing. That
would be awesome.
I don't know. So that's why I'm like, that's what I want. If somebody's gonna do Marvel, if you're gonna bring in Marvel to do this, that's what I want.
Right.
Is to walk into this crazy comic book world, and you don't even have to, like you said, it could be individual worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and the other thing I was thinking too, and this one's a little bit edgy, but I like this idea a lot.
What?
Is to have the Marvel universe be the Winnie the Pooh of Kingdom Hearts 3. You open up the book, and as you read the book, you get sucked into the book.
Oh, okay. I thought you were referencing that from like a different perspective, like
no.
a world of mass inactivity.
Oh, no.
I was like, what?
No,
Andrew?
not at all.
No,
not at all. No, but
I get what you mean, though. Yeah,
but to have them be a collectible, like the pages, the Winnie the Pooh pages, and each comic be a different world.
Dude, I could totally see that just like laying on like Sid's computer desk or something. Yeah,
exactly.
Of thing.
So that's what another thought I had.
Yeah.
When you first like told me about this list, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, what if Marvel was in here? And I'm like, dude,
comic
you could
books.
Totally be like the Winnie the Pooh, and
I could
work.
totally see that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that's just an idea I had. So fuck if I know if anybody's gonna like go like had the same idea.
But integrating it in that way would definitely give it more potential for that comic style.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too.
Right.
Is I'm like, yeah, you could just have a world, but then it isn't really like, why does it look like a comic book then?
Right.
When if you open up the comic book and you get sucked into the world, then yeah, it totally makes sense.
And they've been definitely doing that little by little more in each Kingdom Hearts.
I
like,
totally agree.
Kingdom Hearts 1, you had Winnie the Pooh.
Uh-huh.
That was about it. But then in Kingdom Hearts 2, you had Winnie the Pooh, Tron in Hollow Bastion.
Yes.
And then Steamboat Willie in the Disney Castle.
Yeah. So there's a lot more of like different universes thing.
Worlds within worlds kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I really like the idea of that, like the way Marvel works is you collect comics.
Ooh.
And then
so cool.
You could do both individual worlds and the Avengers world, because you could have comics for each one, and then the Avengers
gosh,
comic.
I can totally see you like in like Lion King or something, and you open up a treasure chest and it says, you got Iron Man Volume 3.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
So if they do Marvel, I really hope that's the way they do it.
Now that you've explained it more, I can definitely see a lot more potential in it than Star Wars.
I'm going to be kind of disappointed if it's like you're in a gummy ship and you come across the world of New York. It's like the Stark Tower. I'd be like, oh. I want the comic book.
You came across the real world.
Yeah, seriously. Like, Pirates of the Caribbean was stylized okay.
Yeah,
it was still realistic, but I feel like in the Avengers it'd be funny. But I'm kind of like, I'd rather have comic book world.
Right. It'd be kind of like the weirdness of like the newer Sonic games. How he's always in like a regular city with regular people kind of thing.
Yeah. Sonic 06.
Something's not quite right here. But like even in the earlier ones like Sonic Adventure and stuff, those were good games, but it was still that same setting, like just real people in the city kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
So I don't know. I mean, Marvel, we'll see what happens. I think it's more likely we'll see Marvel because of the time frame.
Yeah, and Marvel versus Star Wars, definitely Marvel has a leg up.
Yeah. So, anyway.
But just seeing what they'll do with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully good stuff.
Hopefully.
Next on the list is Frozen, but I thought we'd talk about just like the newer princesses in general kind of thing.
So,
which I guess the three would be the Frozen Princess, Tangled, and Princess and the Frog.
Right. So I think that one of these is going to be in the game. I mean, if it's not, somebody made a mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
These properties are enormous, and they're now Disney properties. Like this is Disney Animation Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So they're missing an opportunity if they don't use one. I guess Frozen could definitely be part of it, especially if the team was working with the other team to bring the Frozen assets in already.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one of the few worlds that they're going to finish.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a possibility, in my opinion.
The problem I see with most of these princess worlds is the lack of strong villains, like physically strong.
Yeah.
They're not like monsters or
That's
good fighters kind of
that's
thing,
true.
you know?
I mean, Frozen would be a difficult one because, like you said, it's very much not a here's a sorceress or a this or as
Yeah.
the bad guy. It's just like more like a deceit sort
Right.
of bad guy, like a smart
And
one.
Tangled is kind of the same way.
Tangled is
you
kind
know?
of the same way, although she is a sort of kind of sorceress, so
Right.
she could pull something off.
I
And
guess,
that might
yeah.
be kind of interesting to see that.
But I feel like that's why so many of the princess worlds were not included in
Yeah.
the original Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And then, like, they were later brought in with Birth by Sleep just for, like, oh, we've done these worlds so many times, we gotta have some new ones.
Yeah,
kind
and I
of
mean,
thing.
like Hollow Bastion, the main bad guy is
Maleficent.
yeah, it's Maleficent, right?
Yeah.
But like
She's a good bad guy,
right,
though.
but that's not
Yeah.
even from Beauty and the Beast, right? Like
Sleeping Beauty.
right, it's from Sleeping Beauty. I'm
Yeah.
saying like Beauty and the Beast is like the Beast is in Hollow Bastion, so that's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking about more of that world,
Mhm.
but it's more like a mashup world.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Like you said, they had to bring in these characters, but they had to like cross them in because
Right.
Beauty and the Beast, who's the bad guy, there's like, what's his name?
Gaston.
Gaston, right? But
Which I'm
That
kind
might
of
be
glad
kind of a
he
lame
wasn't
fight.
in Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts. But I guess that shows a solution to the problem is just like fill the world with Heartless
Mhm.
kind of thing, you know? Because
And I mean,
there
if you-
wasn't really, there wasn't an in-movie bad guy
Yeah, and
in the Beauty and the Beast world.
And you can see that problem kind of crop up in Kingdom Hearts 1. Because if you remember the Tarzan stage, Clayton just has a shotgun and then suddenly he has a giant lizard.
Chameleon thing.
Yeah, and it's
You
like,
know.
what? Alright, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it makes the fight more interesting. Because otherwise it'd just be him with a shotgun summoning Heartless.
But I mean,
So it's
I
like-
think it's logistical enough because the Heartless are such a core of this
No,
universe.
yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, but it's just not a very, like you said, it's
It's
not
not
a
a smooth
exciting,
transition.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not very exciting as a fight, and you're
Yeah.
kind of like,
It
whatever.
takes you out of the universe a bit
Exactly.
that you're in.
Yeah, so I totally understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
That's why, like, Frozen would have to be Heartless, or it would have to be somebody losing, control to the Heartless or something,
Yeah.
becoming more evil, somebody with power.
A giant ice heartless monster will pop up. I can see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a possibility, but you also might see all of these characters pop up, but not in a world, just in general.
Yeah,
So-
maybe. I feel like I've seen a lot less of that in the later games. Like Kingdom Hearts
little bit.
definitely, but
Yeah.
like it seems like as time went on they were going hardcore world kind of thing.
And I can kind of see that. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have like a Traverse Town and just have, Flynn Rider and Rapunzel show up randomly, right? Like that might be kind of cool, and it would be a good way to have those characters in there without having a world with random Heartless in it.
Right. But it seems like Traverse Town at this point is definitely the destiny for Tetsuya Nomura's other franchises.
No,
kind
it
of thing.
is.
Because there's also the Final Fantasy characters, but later in Dream Drop Distance, there's all the World Ends With You characters in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. So, I don't know. As far as these franchises go, having a Frozen world would be amazing. But like you said, there's got to be somebody else. There's got to be another villain.
There's a lack of danger, I guess, in
There is.
these later princess movies.
And I
feel
mean,
like
coming through the world, and this is what I kind of think a lot of these worlds would have to be like, is either you'd have to see them outside of their own world, or you'd have to chase somebody into the world. Bad guy escapes world, goes into Frozen's world, or something, right?
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so
I don't. We haven't really seen villains cross worlds besides Maleficent,
Right.
who is there like everywhere,
and then
kind of. But that's
and
about
then
it.
Pete in Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of
Oh,
crosses
yeah.
worlds, right?
That's true.
He's in
yeah.
like everything.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that kind of thing where you see him in a bunch of different worlds. So I feel like if you did that, it might keep those worlds more interesting because there's a villain, and then it's not just Sora and the protagonists making a change to this world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a villain coming in and making a change to this world, which
Now,
would be very interesting.
I have an interesting question for
Okay.
you. Do you think that some of these princesses could possibly be new princesses of heart?
So, I was thinking about this too,
Yeah.
and I think that is definitely a possibility. I just don't know how you would do that.
What makes me think that is because more Hearts of Light are needed at this time.
That's true.
Because as it was stated in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, what was it? Well, oh no, it was 7 Hearts of Light and 13 of Darkness.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't need more.
Yeah. And I mean,
but
the thing is, like, he explains things away in this show where he's like, I need this. Okay, it works like this now. And then that thing becomes a reality.
yeah.
So that's not out of the realm of possibility for him to be like, yeah, well, I mean, there's more now.
Right.
It's not really, like, that's a thing. And also,
It's
just because there's...
I mean, we've already, like, suddenly created, like, 10 more Keyblade Masters,
it's ridiculous. Like, he just goes,
I'll
here
be
now.
I'll be less broken up if he destroys the Princesses of Heart.
And I mean, the other thing is, if some of those Princesses of Heart are hidden from him,
mm-hmm.
then these other... It's not just that there's just 7. Maybe there's more.
Right.
And so he goes and he finds Elsa from Frozen, or Rapunzel
and then maybe
from Tangled,
Ariel could finally become a Princess of Heart.
Exactly. So it's like he doesn't need just those 7.
Right.
He just needs 7 in general.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like. There's many ways for that to happen,
mm-hmm.
and I can totally see it happening.
Definitely.
Like 100%. So I would like to see it personally. I think it fits well with the animation style.
Oh yeah, those definitely hands down.
Yeah, because the new animation style, I feel like, of Disney is a lot of anime style. It's tiny mouths and big eyes.
That's true.
Turning into big mouths, right? Whenever they speak. So I feel like it kind of is a natural fit a lot of the times. So it'll be interesting to see.
Definitely.
But the other Disney movie that's kind of outside the realm of, like, Disney princess movies,
mm-hmm.
like Tangled and Frozen, is Wreck-It Ralph. Which you just have to do. Because it's perfect.
I think, what is it, for both of us, this is like our number one.
It's my number one.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like it's such a perfect fit.
Absolutely.
And there's so many ways, and this is another one where there could be a different way to get into the world. Start playing an arcade game. There's an arcade machine in somebody's office, in Sid's office, or there's a arcade machine in a different world. And you're like, oh, what's this? And then you're in Wreck-It Ralph.
Definitely.
I would love that.
Like, just 3 arcade machines lined up for the 3 different worlds?
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Seriously.
So, I mean, I would love to see that happen.
Yeah.
I think it'd be freaking awesome. And it's just and it's also an easy thing because there is a strong villain and there's a strong force.
Definitely.
I mean,
a perfect partner character being Wreck-It Ralph.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the perfect combat character.
Yeah.
And so Jane Lynch's character as well. The soldier from the Call of Duty game.
Oh, right.
The woman, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is another perfect combat character.
Flattery don't charge these baddies.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I feel like this is a perfect fit, and this is the one that I want to see the most.
It already has that element of traveling worlds within it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a mini Kingdom Hearts kind of, you know?
It would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
And this is a very good story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more simple story. There's a really good bad guy in it.
Yeah.
That would serve as an interesting fight.
It'd be interesting if it stayed as like a racing fight kind of thing. It'd be
that
like
would be awesome.
2 parts.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And there's a racing element to it, like you said. That would be really interesting.
And then you're on top of the volcano thing fighting
it. Yeah. I mean,
that would be amazing.
There's a lot of really good parallels. I feel like in Kingdom Hearts, sometimes you can't look at it and go, yeah, it'd just be cool to be in that world. Because you kind of think about it like
You
from a
gotta
gameplay
understand
aspect.
every single element, especially gameplay.
Because gameplay really, that's what keeps you invested in the world in the first place.
Absolutely.
Is if there's interesting enemies to fight
Yeah.
and interesting things to do. Because that's what keeps it a good action game. And that's
Right.
what keeps it interesting.
Right.
So
and
I feel like...
that's what invests the players who aren't huge Disney fans.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, there are those people who are Disney fans and
Mm-hmm.
totally got into it for that, which...
Yes.
Either way, it's just a great way to experience it,
Yeah.
I think.
So, I mean, I think this is a great idea, and I think it's a fucking slam dunk. So just do it, please.
Seriously.
I want to see this one especially.
This is like a guarantee in my opinion, this one.
I think it is too.
The only thing being like all the cameos taken out pretty much.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to do because you have... But I mean, would Capcom be willing to work with them? I think they would.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
true.
Capcom would be willing to be like, yeah, take Street Fighter, right?
But like
yeah.
Nintendo?
It's a little difficult on that scale. You're right. It's a little difficult.
Maybe Sonic. Cause
maybe Sonic.
Sega's just like whatever these days.
Yeah. Sega really doesn't care. You're right.
It's like Sonic can be in anything.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So, yeah, maybe without the cameos.
Yeah.
But with just the original characters.
Right.
I think
it could totally stand on its own without them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally. All right, so what are some of the other ones we have down here?
I don't want to talk about Robin Hood.
So, Robin Hood. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about Robin Hood, but it's on the IGN list, and I
don't want to see Sora turn into a fox. I'm sorry, fox man thing. But another big one is Pixar.
So Pixar movies.
They're like full on owned by Disney now, right?
That's a good parallel, I think. I think there's a lot of potential there. I mean, hell, they're trying to push Cars. You want to do a Cars racing universe? I'll die a little inside, but I totally understand why you'd want to do it.
If they choose that over other ones,
well,
no, I don't accept
that over other ones. You're absolutely right. And I mean, you have another opportunity for a fish universe and Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's just The Incredibles. That's another superhero one.
Yeah, I think hands down the one they have to do is Toy Story.
I mean, I think that's the one that everybody would want the most, and I think that's the one that has the best fit.
Yeah, and it's the greatest classic of Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it belongs in this world. Wasn't there like unused designs for summons of Buzz and Woody in one of the Kingdom Hearts?
I
remember seeing that.
Yeah, I agree. I remember seeing that at some point that was a thing. I don't remember where it was, but yeah, I think you're right.
So I feel like for the Kingdom Hearts team, this is just one that they were just like pounding on the door on for years, and now it's finally going to collapse, and we're going to see some.
I hope so.
Pixar
I really
stuff.
do. I would love to see a Toy Story universe because there's a lot you can do with that.
Absolutely.
They've now had a trilogy, so there's like way more than enough characters.
Right.
Places.
Yeah.
I mean, the third one was that whole daycare center. I mean,
right.
You have a lot to do.
Definitely.
So I feel like
I don't mind them taking their time with it though. Like.
Yeah.
Each world one movie
totally.
kind of thing.
And I mean, you could just have it be in the first movie.
Right, right.
That'd be great.
And you know what? Sid would be a freaking scary villain.
Yeah, he would. Because he'd be huge.
And he would strap you to rockets and try and kill you.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good potential, and I agree. I think that's the one that's the best fit.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, there's clear villains in two of the movies, and there's a lot of really good parallel there. And
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Getting them back to... I was just thinking about this, though. Getting them back to voice their characters would be interesting. I wonder if they'd do it.
Tom Hanks and Tim Allen?
Yeah, I wonder if they'd do it for a video game.
It's hard to say. But, I mean, they got... What's his name? The guy who played Saruman.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they got him to play Diz.
That's true.
He's a huge name guy. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. But
yeah, and Leonard Nimoy played Xehanort.
Yeah.
What, Birth by Sleep and Dreamed Up Distance and all those different ones.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah. You got Haley Joel Osment as Sora.
Hayden Panettiere. I mean, there's some relatively big names.
Yeah,
so
they're not super big.
But... Yeah, I mean, I think the Saruman.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee's
that takes a cake.
Yeah. But
so I can see it.
I can see it too.
Yeah.
I if they didn't, it'd be bad to like, oh, this is like butchered
like,
versions of the
You're not Woody. Shut up.
Yeah. Because God, after I played through Kingdom Hearts 1, I felt that way in the Hercules world so bad.
Really?
Yeah, because the guy who plays Hercules, I'm just like, this hurts.
Oh.
The guy who plays Phil isn't that bad. He's not
Yeah.
great. But the guy who plays Hercules is like, ow.
I think the most painful voice transition for me was when they changed the Heartless Ansem's voice from the first one into a new guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The Kingdom Hearts 1 Ansem shook my soul to pieces whenever that guy spoke. It was the most frightening, incredible thing ever, and then this new guy just didn't bring it, you know? There was no depth to it. It was just a deep, brooding voice.
And that's the worst. And that's the worst part about this, like talking about all these different worlds and stuff, is we know that these people can't come back because they didn't. A lot of them didn't come back between 1 and 2.
Yeah,
so it's like, man,
there's no guarantee in that, but it'd be nice to see.
Yeah.
Did you know the thing about Alice in Wonderland? The woman who played Alice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was the original voice actor. She voiced Alice in the first one when she's like 60.
Yeah.
And I could not even tell. It sounded the same. It was incredible.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And apparently she does that a lot. She like voices her. I'm just like, I don't know.
That's great.
How you do that.
That's wonderful.
Crazy. It's really, really cool actually.
Yeah.
That she can still do that.
Yeah. So, like, these other people, you won't have a problem with it. Get in there! Come on, Tom Hanks. Let's do it.
Please, Toy Story.
So, what are some of the other Pixar worlds? Incredibles would be a really, really good one.
I like the idea of doing Incredibles. I don't know. I mean, you could do... There's stuff like A Bug's Life, even.
Yeah, definitely.
WALL-E's a little hard to do. I don't think that's even possible at this point. No, I don't think WALL-E would be that great. It's tough. It's really tough. And then there's, and that's kind of the story with a lot of these, though, because Up, kind of hard to do.
Some of the newer ones.
Yeah, Ratatouille, kind of hard to do.
But yeah, Bug's Life would be great. Finding Nemo would be
okay.
Cool. Okay, yeah. But like
I
Incredibles
don't see Cars. Incredibles and Toy Story.
I think they beat that horse to death at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Incredibles and Toy Story
would be definitely
the two that are at the top of that list.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, I guess we'll just briefly go over this one there. I don't think there's much to say but the Muppets.
That would be that. It wouldn't work.
I love the Muppets, but how? Just how?
I don't know. Logistically speaking, how the fuck are you gonna do that?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. Are they puppets? Is everything in puppet form? Does fighting in puppet form? How does this humanly work? I don't understand. I don't know. For this one, I'm just like, it's fun to dream, IGN, but no.
I mean, yeah, I love the Muppets, but it just doesn't
It doesn't work
at all.
It just doesn't work.
Like, you can just see Kermit the Frog. Sora! I can't do the voice.
That was a nice try.
Kermit the Frog here. There's a bunch of Heartless everywhere. Sora, can you help us out? Yay! No.
No. Please, no. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and skip that one because I don't know. I don't really want that one to happen.
I love the Muppets, but not in Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry.
I don't think
there's just no way.
Yeah.
Put like an Easter egg somewhere. Maybe a Kermit the
Frog
hanging, like sitting on a shelf or something.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Next is Indiana Jones.
So yeah, this one came with the purchase of Lucasfilms as well.
Yeah.
Because they came with the rights to Star Wars. That would be really cool. And that is... Honestly, I might want that more than Star Wars.
I feel like it'd fit a little better.
Yeah.
Just because... since it's not as gigantic of a world as Star Wars, there'd be more direction.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there's not as much like direction and crazy stuff happening in Star Wars. It's just like a dude with a whip.
Yeah.
And he's like fighting.
He's looking for treasure.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like that idea a lot.
Absolutely. It definitely have to be toned down a lot.
Oh, incredibly. Yeah.
We can't have melting faces in Kingdom Hearts, I'm sorry,
well,
folks.
yeah, you know.
But the interesting thing is, they brought some stuff into the Pirates of the Caribbean world. The part where they cut her hand.
That's
and
true.
It shows blood.
Yeah.
And then Captain Barbossa drinking the wine in skeleton form.
Yep.
Literally, like, on the box it says E10 and up.
Yeah.
It says, use of alcohol, blood, violence. I'm like, oh, what? And then, of course, you know, it's all in Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is, yeah. So, I mean...
I thought it was interesting, though, that they actually kept that in, though.
Yeah,
you know?
It is interesting that they got away with having it be E10+ because of that, too.
And even Barbossa got shot and killed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's odd.
It is.
I don't know. So... But I feel like...
But a melting face, that's...
Well, I mean, you're going a little too far.
Maybe it would be a little more violent in that world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be like Pirates of the Caribbean and Kingdom Hearts too.
Definitely.
It would have to be a little bit more violent. Maybe he'd get a little scuffed up. Not like bloody.
No,
but
absolutely
like,
not.
You know, he'd get hurt and stuff like he normally does.
Right.
And I think it would also just be really fun to have... And I don't know why this is more exciting to me than Star Wars. Like, you'd have a friggin' Jedi in your party. But having Indiana Jones in your party... Shit would get real. That's all I'm saying. I am down for
Just
this.
About.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's like more exciting, but I'm like, oh man, Indiana Jones in your party? Hell yeah, he'd have a whip attack. I want this.
I think what would excite me about this world so much is how active the world itself would be with all the tons of like crazy booby traps and like little obstacle courses you'd have to get through. It would play so heavily in this world as opposed to like so many other worlds where it's just like the setting, you're here kind of thing, you know?
Exactly.
And I think this is a great opportunity to add some complexity to the worlds because I feel like in the second one they really simplified a lot of the worlds into straight lines and stuff.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point. And this would be interesting to have, like, a dungeon that you have to explore.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Traps and everything. I think it'd be really, really cool. And there's a lot of... I feel like Heartless... There would be interesting Heartless in that one, too.
Monkey Heartless.
Yeah.
Crazy hunter people Heartless.
Yeah, zombies, skeletons.
And of
like,
course...
You have...
Snake Heartless.
Of course.
Why did it have to be snakes?
You would have to have Snake Heartless, right?
Yeah. Just for that line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It would all be for that one line. That's so true. You know they would do that.
After they write in that line. Yeah. We're done with this one.
Well, we're done.
We're complete.
That's it.
That's all we needed.
That's all we had to do. So yeah, Indiana Jones, thumbs up from me. I'd like to see it.
Thumbs up for me too.
I mean, all of these really kind of get thumbs up, but...
Not all of them.
No, well, you're right. You're right.
Sora.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog.
Alright, so...
Our final one.
The last one on this list is Final Fantasy 13 and Lightning.
Yep.
So, we talked about this a little bit before already, but I think this is an interesting one because it's there's not a lot of Final Fantasy anymore, really. And like you said, all of his characters kind of get like, we'll just put him in Traverse Town.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. And I'd like to see more involvement from these Final Fantasy characters.
There's so much potential there.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand why they don't jump on that more.
Yeah, I feel like they always serve as like the characters who know Final Fantasy is like the top level. All the Disney characters are their own insular worlds, and Final Fantasy characters know what's going on, so they kind of serve as Sora's like reference point and like advisors and stuff.
They're the people he looks up to the most.
Yeah,
and then like the Disney characters are just goofball
kind of his friends,
kind of things. Yeah,
sort of.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like that's interesting, but I'd like to see a Final Fantasy world.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're going to bring somebody in, bring in Final Fantasy 13 and have it be, like, exploring her world and, like, getting to know Lightning. And
now,
I think that's an interesting idea to break up Disney.
mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you just... This is kind of like, to have it be a little bit different, maybe Donald and Goofy don't even come with him. And the art style is consistent the whole way through, and it's much more of a Final Fantasy level or world.
I don't think they would do that.
I don't think they would do it either,
Yeah.
but I think it's an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that's something that, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think that's something that Nomura would want to do.
Yeah,
he would
absolutely.
want it. He would want to do something like that, so it might be kind of interesting.
Now, to be perfectly honest, even though Lightning in Final Fantasy 13 is so popular right now, I don't think that has the most potential to become a world out of all the other Final Fantasies.
It really doesn't.
Because it's not one of the Final Fantasies that Tetsuya Nomura has had the most heavy hand in.
It's true.
If anything, it would be Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10, or 15 coming out.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Is I would personally, I'd like to see a Final Fantasy world, 13 world.
Yeah,
because I think it'd be interesting to see a Final Fantasy world.
Right, exactly.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Lightning's going to be in it.
I can see that.
I totally think Lightning's going to be in it. As an ancillary character or a summon or something.
She'll be in Hollow Bastion for some reason or another.
I'm sure. She'll be hanging out with Skull. It'll be great. There will be a lot of crossover between games. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're going to see a lot of Final Fantasy 15.
Definitely.
It's within the company. There's no time frame problems because Nomura's working on both at the same time.
Right.
So he knows what's going on
in
either
both
project.
His core projects. And looking at the characters, they're interesting because it's a really ragtag team kind of thing.
It is, yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of like the Kingdom Hearts group a little, like the three kids and stuff like that kind of thing.
So I feel like Final Fantasy 15, like you said, that's the one if they were going to do a world. Yeah, they would do Final Fantasy 15.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I don't know if I would want to see that immediately because I feel like 13's a much more established world. Yeah. There's a lot more like going on right now.
Honestly, I think the most potential out of any of the worlds would be 7.
Yeah.
Because
that's very true.
15 he's really tight with, but it'd be way too new in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's my problem too.
And then 7's the most popular behind that kind of thing. I think it's an awesome world.
Yeah, definitely. No, it really is. So I think but I think the thing that's gonna, I think the thing with the most possibility of happening is still Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Final Fantasy 15 characters, it'll be like Lightning. Maybe they'll just be in the game, but there won't be, like, you're not going to visit the world.
I think they'll all be in there somewhere, kind of.
They're all definitely going to be in the game.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of seeing...
presentation and stuff.
Yeah. Are they all in Hollow Bastion or Traverse Town? Or does Final Fantasy 15 have its own world or something?
Right.
I don't know.
Absolutely. The interesting thing about Final Fantasy 15 is, like, especially when the first few trailers came out, it reminded me so much of the world that never was. The introduction part of it, where it's like a dark city. And personally, I wish the whole thing was like that instead of going into that weird white castle spaceship thing. But hey, whatever.
No more, you know what you're doing. I guess. Kind of.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, those are the worlds that IGN had talked about, and I think they pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, these are basically the ones that everyone has been talking about for a really long time now.
So, I mean, are there any you think that they missed? Characters we want to see, things that want to be in the game, any crossovers, anything like that?
As far in the realm of potential, I really think this covers it, because, I don't know, there isn't one that really stands out for me.
I mean, I feel like...
Or, like, that hasn't been covered.
I feel like these really, like you said, they cover the world of possibilities. And this is really This is really what could happen. But if we missed any, you should totally tell us.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, actually, really. Like, I want to hear if you guys think we missed an older animated movie or something like that needs to be Kingdom Hearts.
Definitely.
We want to hear about it. So you can find us
at plenty of locations.
Plenty of places. You can find us at facebook.com/thefanvoicepodcast.
Twitter.com/fanvoicepodcast.
Yep, at fanvoicepodcast. You can also find us at youtube.com/thefanvoicepodcast. We're also at thefanvoice.com where we post articles and everything.
Yep. And if you really want to give a in-depth response to one of our podcasts or articles, we recommend fan@thefanvoice.com, our email. And well, wherever you decide to reply to us, we will give you a special shout out and elaborate on your opinions to the best of our abilities. And we thank you for listening as always.
Yeah. We will see you guys next week.
All right.
Podcast 6.
Yeah.
All right,
see you later.
Guys.